Is Buddhism really a religion, or is it a philosophy of life? And who was the Buddha? Was he a god, a prophet, or simply a wise teacher? These questions have fascinated historians, philosophers, and spiritual seekers for centuries. In today's video, we'll dive deep into the origins of Buddhism, its core teachings, and the ongoing debate about whether it should be seen as a religion or a philosophy. Around 500 years ago, in northern India, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama was born into luxury. His father tried to shield him from life's hardships, but destiny intervened. When Siddhartha finally left the palace, he witnessed 4 powerful sights: an old man, a sick man, a corpse, and a wandering monk. These encounters revealed that suffering is universal, and no wealth or status can escape it. Disturbed, Siddhartha renounced his royal life, leaving behind his family to seek answers. He first practiced extreme austerities, nearly starving himself, but realized that neither indulgence nor self-torture leads to truth. Under the Bodhi tree, after days of deep meditation, he attained enlightenment and became the Buddha, the awakened one. At that time, Indian society was dominated by Vedic sacrifices and rigid caste rules. The Buddha's teaching was radical. He rejected blind rituals, opposed caste hierarchy, and emphasized compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct. His simple yet profound message gave ordinary people a path to peace without dependence on priests. From one man's quest, a tradition was born that would reshape Asia and later the entire world. At the heart of Buddhism lie the 4 noble truths. First, life is marked by suffering, pain, loss, and dissatisfaction. Second, this suffering arises from craving and attachment, our endless desire for permanence. Third, suffering can be overcome. And fourth, the path to freedom is the noble Eightfold Path. This Eightfold Path is not blind faith, but disciplined practice. It teaches right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Together, these cultivate ethical behavior, mental clarity, and spiritual wisdom. Another core idea is nirvana, the state beyond suffering and rebirth. Unlike heaven, it is not a place but a condition of perfect peace. What made Buddhism revolutionary is its openness. Anyone, regardless of caste or background, could achieve nirvana through practice and insight. By emphasizing personal effort and inner awareness, the Buddha offered a universal path that continues to guide seekers across cultures. As Buddhism spread across Asia, it developed many features of a religion. Monks and nuns formed communities known as sanghas. Ordinary people supported them with food and shelter, while they received teachings and blessings in return. Temples and monasteries became centers of devotion, pilgrimage, and cultural life. Over centuries, schools of thought appeared. Theravada Buddhism, practiced in Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia, focused on strict discipline and treated the Buddha as a supreme teacher. Mahayana Buddhism, dominant in East Asia, introduced bodhisattvas, enlightened beings who stay behind to help others. Vajrayana Buddhism, in Tibet, added rituals, chants, and symbolic practices that gave it a distinct identity. Festivals, offerings, and devotional images of the Buddha became part of daily life. In this way, Buddhism took on the structure of a religion, with sacred texts, rituals, and a global community of followers, bound together by shared traditions and practices. Yet Buddhism can also be understood as a philosophy. It does not require belief in a creator, God, or blind submission to authority. The Buddha encouraged inquiry, saying that his words should be tested like gold in fire. This rational spirit makes Buddhism unique among world traditions. The focus is on understanding the mind, reducing suffering, and achieving transformation through practice. Mindfulness and meditation invite individuals to examine their own thoughts and emotions, building awareness and balance. This emphasis on experience over dogma appeals strongly to modern seekers. Buddhism's practical outlook has often been compared to Greek Stoicism, which also emphasized self-control and detachment. For many today, Buddhism is less about worship and more about living wisely, cultivating compassion, clarity, and resilience. As a philosophy, it provides tools for inner peace and ethical living without demanding adherence to supernatural belief. A central question is whether the Buddha should be considered a god. The historical Siddhartha Gautama never claimed to be divine. He described himself simply as a human who discovered a path to liberation. His teachings stressed awareness and ethical living, not worship of himself. In the earliest traditions, the Buddha was honored as an extraordinary teacher. But as Buddhism spread, cultural influences transformed how followers expressed devotion. In some schools, statues of the Buddha became objects of reverence, and rituals of prayer and offerings were introduced. For many communities, treating him like a divine being became a way of showing gratitude and deepening faith. Still, at its core, Buddhism does not depend on belief in the Buddha's divinity. Whether seen as teacher, sage, or sacred figure, his role remains to inspire practice, not demand worship. His humanity is what makes his achievement of enlightenment accessible to all. Today, Buddhism takes many forms across the globe. In Asia, millions follow it as a religion, visiting temples, performing rituals, and celebrating festivals. In contrast, in the West, it is often embraced as a philosophy or even a science of the mind. Mindfulness, drawn from Buddhist meditation, is now used in schools, therapy, and corporate programs to reduce stress and improve focus. This diversity shows Buddhism's adaptability. For some, it offers a sacred path of devotion. For others, it provides a rational system for self-awareness and peace of mind. Both approaches reflect the same essence, the effort to overcome suffering and cultivate compassion. Because it can be both religious and philosophical, Buddhism has survived and thrived for over 2 millennia. Its timeless wisdom continues to inspire seekers across cultures, making it one of the most influential traditions in human history. So, is Buddhism a religion or a philosophy? The truth is, it is both, depending on how you practice and understand it. For some, it is a faith with rituals and devotion. For others, it is a rational path of wisdom and meditation. The Buddha himself may not have claimed divinity, but his teachings continue to inspire millions across cultures and centuries. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you see Buddhism more as a religion or as a philosophy of life? Share your thoughts in the comments below.